Brett Allen here, chatting today with the wonderfully talented Dexter Darden about It's a Wonderful Binge, dropping December 9th on Hulu TV. And of course, the Maze Runner films. I mean, good grief. We'll get into that, but let's talk
Yeah,
about A Wonderful Binge.
yeah.
Dexter, thank you for your time. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, thank you, Brett. Thank you for your time. And I love your backdrop too. You really got into the spirit of things here.
We have to for everything. So let's talk about this. This is a great film, hilarious, and also has heart. Very curious what
Yeah.
interested you in the project and what can people expect when they get a chance to watch.
Well, I think Binge One obviously was super iconic in the way that Jordan Van Dyne, our incredible director, wrote it. But he created a universe for us to just kind of exist and create constant chaos, but also fun and madness. And so when the opportunity came around to say, "Hey, we want to do the Binge again, but we want to do a Christmas movie," I said, "You know what? Let's just go ahead and do it." So working with Eduardo again, and obviously having the opportunity to work with the legends who are behind you, and Nick and Caitlin and Danny and Tim was often and always just a treat and a blessing in itself. So when the opportunity came around to bring Hags back, I said, "Sure, let's go, let's go."
Yeah, well, it's really good, and I like the fact that because you are bringing it back, but also it's a Christmas film too, so it's not just like, hey, let's return to the well and do another one, but let's make it holiday themed as well.
Yeah, and that's what was so beautiful about yesterday. Yesterday we had the premiere for the first time, and we got a whole bunch of people. It's nice to see it with people who are affiliated with the film, but when you see it with people who are just like not used to what the Binge is or haven't seen this movie before or didn't work on it, and you're getting genuine laughs. And in its own universe, like that's what the Binge is. The Binge is a universe in the sense that we have this crazy topic of drugs and alcohol only being legal on one day. So putting it on Christmas is bound to lead to a crazy experience. But yeah,
Yes.
it's been fun. It's been so fun, and I think it's great that this movie can stand alone. Like even if you haven't seen the original Binge and don't know where we're coming from, like having this idea of just on Christmas Eve, everybody just being able to do what they need to do is really crazy.
It's quite funny, and the fact that it does have the Purge vibes, the Nope vibes,
Yeah.
all of that seems to be clearly influenced in the writing and the storytelling. When you're making a film like this, do you ever have moments where you're just like, this is so hilarious or so wild, like you're just kind of like, I can't
Yeah.
believe I'm actually getting to like tell this
I
story,
mean,
which quite honestly doesn't seem too far off the range. So,
yeah, right, right. And exactly, right. So you do have those moments, especially when you're working with such comedic icons. Like there's a scene that I have with Tim Meadows in the hot tub, and like we'll have our moments where we're like going back and forth with each other, and then I'm like, oh, I cannot believe I'm making this crazy ass movie with Tim Meadows and like sitting here cracking jokes, throwing things against the wall. And it's nice in a movie like this because you don't really have any restrictions. You just get the chance to go. There is no no's. Everything is a yes, and then you figure out in the editing room what works. So Jordan does a great job, and the guys at American High, produced and started by Jeremy Gerlich, of giving us the opportunity to like fall into our creative genius and really find our own comedic input. So it's been great.
yeah, and I can imagine too when you have the creative freedom, it has to feel good, to be able to have fun. How much of this is improv and how much of this is like script, or is it a hybrid?
Well, not this is it. I would say it's definitely a hybrid because
Okay.
Jordan, our writer and director, is so comedically gifted. Like he's a genius, a real comedic genius. So, he has so much on the page, but then he's like, once you guys find your characters and your little niche, between Eduardo and I, he really just kind of gave us the reins to just go. So I would say about 50-50, like the little tail ends of the lines, the things that like the little nuanced lines that sound funny or don't sound too familiar are the stuff that's improv. But we got a chance to get our own stuff into it.
Wow, it's a great film. I can't wait to see it, or for
Thank
other people to see it, December 9th on Hulu TV. One last question. I mentioned it at the beginning, the Maze Runner films.
you. Yeah.
Such an iconic series. I was a little late to the party on those films,
Oh,
but I
cool.
saw them and I just fell in love with all of them and introducing my child to those movies. How
Yeah.
fun were those? Because those are great stories. I
I
mean,
mean,
so, so good.
Truly iconic, truly iconic. Working with a cast like that, like we're all still best friends. We all still talk today, like still to this day. We're in a group chat. So when you're working with people who you love in that way, it always makes the project a bit more special. But when it's on the scale like Maze Runner and what it became, and doing 3 movies back to back to back, and having the opportunity to have them all come out in theaters and be received the way that they were received, it was just a blessing and an honor to be a part of a franchise like that, and to be able to work with such talented geniuses in the sense of like Dylan and Will and Kaya and Ki Hong, and the list can go on and on and on and on. And Wes Ball's going on to do Planet of the Apes now, doing incredible things. So Fox really gave us an opportunity to prove ourselves, and I think we did.
Yes, there was one on the movie screen. My gym has a theater with treadmills and stuff,
Oh
and one
shit!
was playing the other day right before our chat. So
Oh
I got to
wow!
see in
Awesome.
that, and of course this fantastic work, my friend. It's a
Thank
wonderful
you.
binge, the Binge 2,
Yes, sir.
December 9th on Hulu TV. We've been chatting with the wonderfully talented Dexter Darden. Dexter, thank you so much for your time. It's been a
Thank you so
pleasure,
much.
and congratulations on everything.
I appreciate you, Brett. Thank you.
Absolutely.